Hi folks, this is a quick version of the 701, Internet Safety class. In it, I'm going to go a little bit over what's Internet safety, what's digital citizenship, talk a little bit about the 5 parts of digital citizenship that I'm expecting you to use on your pledge, and then also talk about the pledge. I can statements. I can identify key traits of a good digital citizen, and I can come up with actions that I will take as a good digital citizen. So first I want you to take a moment and think, what's some advice you've gotten about internet safety before? Sure, people have talked to you about it. You all have grown up with the internet around you, even if you haven't been on the internet. Take a moment and think, what are some of the pieces of tips you've gotten? What we're going to talk about today is a little bit beyond internet safety. It's more about digital citizenship. What does that mean? Basically, it's beyond keeping you safe. Internet safety is important. Dangerous things can happen on the internet. You all are aware of that. But digital citizenship goes beyond that. It says the internet is a space, increasingly so, where we're living our lives. So how can we, beyond just keeping ourselves safe, actually go and make the internet a better place? So how do we keep ourselves safe and make the internet, the place that we're inhabiting, a better place? I want you to think, what are some adjectives you think that might describe a good digital citizen? Someone who keeps themselves safe and they make the world better. While you're doing this, you may notice that the adjectives you come up with are the same adjectives you would use to describe someone who's a good person in life. So usually, if you do something, if it's an action you would take in real life, if you take that action on the internet, it's probably a good action for a digital citizen. We're going to talk about 5 different traits of digital citizenship today. They are being smart, being kind, being alert, being strong, and being brave. And all of them kind of fit together to make this bigger picture of what does it mean to be a good digital citizen online. So, key points. There's more to each of these, which you can see in your lesson, but I'm just going to go over, here's the main bits that you want to know. Smart. If you're smart on the internet, you know what information you are sharing and who you're sharing it with. Your favorite pizza topping probably isn't something that you have to withhold from people. That's probably fine. But personal identifying information, like your full name, your birthday, your phone number, your address, any of that stuff, in the hands of the wrong person could be bad. So make sure you know what information you're sharing and who you're sharing with. Is this someone you know offline? Is it someone you have record of their identity? Have you checked with trusted adults? Etc., etc. So being smart is all about knowing what information you're sharing and with whom. Strong. Creating good passwords and having a secure way to remember them. So creating a good password probably means not using the same one for each site. I like to use sort of a formula, so it's not exactly the same on each site, but it's similar enough that I can remember it. Like I use the same number, maybe the same combination of letters, but I change it up for each website. Like I keep a little bit of the actual website in there. Or you can give yourself hints, something that you would only know about to help you remember what your passwords are. Or there's a bunch of good password managers out there that can help you keep your passwords safe. The point is, passwords are important and we use them in order to make sure that people don't get your identifying information. So make sure you have good passwords and you know how to save them. And, to forget your password is always there. Be alert. Scams can happen to anybody. There's a really good podcast episode that wonders how do people get phished, which is a way of scamming someone by putting their login into a fake page. and it happens to people. It's happened to me. I've gotten one of the emails of my work, not at K-12, but earlier, phished. So you have to be really aware. Make sure you know what site it's connecting to. If it's an email from someone and you aren't sure about it, when you're in doubt, you can always ask someone to get a second opinion. Be kind. This is more about making the internet a positive place. On the internet, it's really easy to be negative, right? Because you're kind of faceless, people don't see you, feels like less consequences. But as you all know, cyberbullying really hurts. People can be really awful and negative on the internet. There's been a lot of people who have been run off of social media based on what people have said. But you can make that change. You can choose positivity over negativity. Decide to leave nice comments on things rather than ragging on things maybe you don't like. You know the old adage, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all? Applies here too. So, choose positivity over negativity. Brave, report and block the people who aren't doing the right thing. If someone is making you feel uncomfortable, you have the full rights to block them and report them. And talk to someone about it. It's hard, and it may feel weird sometimes, but that's how we keep the internet a safer place, by telling people this thing is wrong and you shouldn't be doing it. Some of my general tips is just be aware. Be aware of the data you give away. So some data you may not care about as much. Do I care that Wikipedia knows that I visit their page for seals every 3 days? No. But do I care if this website has my birthday and my email and my phone number? Yes. So, I'm not saying you don't have to give away no data, like never give away your personal information, but just be aware. Is this a company or a website or a person that you trust? If not, maybe think twice about it. Be aware of the information you use. There's a lot of misinformation on the internet. Sometimes it's easy for misinformation to spread. So always be alert. Think, is this information trustworthy? Can I verify it using a different source? Is the source that I'm looking at something that wants to give me news, or does it want to convince me some way? So be aware of the information you use. Be aware of the identity you build. Picture yourself 5 years ago. I'm guessing you're not the same person you were 5 years ago. I know I'm not. But in the internet, it's hard to erase things. So things from 5 years ago could pop up and people still think you think the same way. So always think, is this the kind of this is the kind of thing I want to look back on in 5 years and say, yep, I still stand by that. If you're not sure, I would say don't post it. So be aware of the identity you're building, because your digital footprint always follows you. My main idea, I do not want to scare you all off the internet. Really great things can happen on the internet. We're doing school on the internet. But the internet is a tool. It's not a good or a bad thing in and of itself. It's not like the internet is good or the internet is bad. It's how people use it. So by being a good digital citizen, you are making the internet a better place because you are using it for good. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the pledge. I have a whole video on this, so I'm not going to go super into it, but basically, I want you all to take these 5 ideas, smart, kind, alert, brave, and strong, and tell me, how are you going to be these things online? Giving me specific examples. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a Word document and tell me, this is how I'm going to be smart. This is how I'm going to be brave. This is how I'm going to be alert. You can see right here is my example, which I'm going to pull up right here in Word. So I created a pledge, which is something that I'm saying I'm committing to this. So I'm pledging to be a good digital citizen by doing the following things. If you want to use this same sort of structure, saying you will pledge to be a good digital citizenship, ending it here, just don't take my ideas because I want to know what you're going to do. You can. So, pledge, talk about how you're going to be smart, kind, alert, strong, brave, etc., etc. And then make it easy to read. Show me your word skills. I know you know how to format things, so show off a little bit. There's not a starter
file for this one, you get to create your own Word document. So when you go to, when you go to our page 701, you'll scroll down, go to the Dropbox. In the Dropbox, you'll see the instructions, which will be right here. That's my example still. Talks a little bit about what to do. The example, you got to start your own Word document. So go ahead, do that. And if you need ideas about what to do, you can always look at these links. Digital Citizenship has a lot of great ideas, security, privacy. This game, Being Internet Awesome, also has a bunch of great ideas. This will be due on the 23rd of April. So make sure you start doing this by before the 23rd of April, because that's when it'll be due. I hope this lesson helped you identify the key traits of being a good digital citizen and helping you come up with some actions that you can take to be a good digital citizen. As always, my email is open, or you can come talk to me at working lunch when we have working lunches again. All right, I miss you all.